Hey guys, Thomas Cecily Jr. here, aka Mustached Tom, here to review the Blair Witch 2016 edition, which is apparently the proper sequel to the original 1991 Blair Witch. A movie that I appreciated when it first came out, but as I aged, the movie didn't age well with me personally. Now I know it's not gonna fit everyone's personification of this movie. I'm pretty sure some people are still spooked out by it, regardless of how many other movies have made fun of the original and poked fun at it and threw all these holes in it. But as for me, I grew out of it, and ever since then, so many found footage films have just not been hitting, and I think that this one just adds on to that list. Now, I'm not saying all found footage films are bad. I personally liked Cloverfield. I thought that movie was fine. I'm still hoping for a crossover with Godzilla with that creature. I thought that was gonna be a thing, but I don't know. Anyways, we pretty much tread the exact same trail we did with the original Blair Witch, with four uh, pretty undescriptive, generic teens going out. One of them's looking for his sister from the original film. After all these years, they go out there and they find this YouTube video, and they manage to find the people who put that up. They say that they're gonna help. They go down to the forest. You get the generic going out there, just treading slowly, pacing slow at night. Things go bump in the night, blah blah blah. They wake up, there's the things that were in the original movie. They are about to leave, but then they find out that the two that were there set it up, apparently. And then separation occurs, and then they end up wanting to leave, or the four of them want the two of them to leave, so they go. The four that remain, one lady, this guy's girlfriend, gets injured. She's like in the tent or whatever. And then night ensues, and more shenanigans ensue, and more shticks appear when there's like less of them. The girl's boyfriend was like the first to go, getting hit by a tree that fell. Then the guy looking for the girlfriend and this other girl, or the two remaining, and they end up finding the original house. I guess it's the original house. I don't know for sure. Things are all black and shaky, and you get a clear image of the switch in this film, which apparently, I guess, I'm gonna give it a little shout out here. I saw Matt Pat's theory video, and I thought that was a really interesting theory. I thought that made the original movie, way more interesting instead of there actually being a witch. And this movie, I guess, totally debunked that. But I have a dumb theory that could potentially fix everything in this movie, but it would take a lot to put together, only because there's a few more characters here. And that's the thing about this type of movie. You know, you have the horror genre, and you have these barely bare-boned characters just doing whatever. And that really sucks. I mean, the last movie I saw that was a horror was Don't Breathe. Something that felt fresh, original, so different from, the typical, at least, setup. And now we're back to this already, and that sucks that there was like light at the end of the tunnel, and then someone dragged us all back in it. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not a fan of most found footage films. Most of them are, to me, not that really great. And the only way I could find this suitable is if, again, there was no witch, but they make it really hard for that to not be the case in this movie. I think it would have been an interesting thing where like all the characters in the movie are all trying to set up each other instead of the two guys setting up the sister. Everyone's trying to get on each other because there's this tension, and the first guy who ends up actually going away is like responsible for a lot of the stuff that's been going on with the two, like they set it up or something, and then the actual witch would be like a setup thing, like like they have like stilts and they can move it, there would be like someone behind it or something like that, but it is what it is, and I'm just tired of these movies, to be honest. And this movie didn't really. It treaded on the exact same format as the original. To me, it didn't really add much of anything. Even with the witch presence, it just. I don't really care. I mean, the characters weren't set up in any interesting way, so I wasn't interested in whether or not they made it or not. So if I'm not invested in the characters, I'm not invested in if they make it out or not. And that seems to be a reoccurring issue with a lot of current horror movies. It is just throw generic characters on the screen, and you usually root for the killer. Except I don't really even care at this point, unless it was a setup and the characters were actually really well put together and there was dialogue with this sort of tension thrown in there. It could have been a really interesting shift in where the Blair Witch was going, but they decided to go this route. So, I give it a 3 out of 10. There are a few interesting things here and there, like the new little camera stuff, but that only plays into the found footage so much. It can only add so much to the film, and it really isn't highlighted as much as it could be, and what remains is just not that much. So yeah, it is what it is. I would say it's better than the other sequel, at least for me. But I'd never even found the original to be all that scary after a little bit. So take that for what it's worth. Some people are gonna find differing opinions. If you didn't like the first one, I wouldn't even recommend this movie. I guess if you're easily scared, I guess go watch it. Jump scares up the wazoo, of course, and that's just dumb, especially when it's people scaring people. Just like, come on. Really? Come on. Don't Breathe, I don't think it had any jump scares that I could recall, which was so, just thank goodness for that movie. And now we have this, so again, just whatever. My name is Thomas Jr., aka Mustached Tom, and I'll see you guys next time.